presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game. Big Ten champions. Big Ten champs.
National champions, yes.
Oklahoma City bound the Oregon Ducks.
Awesome day to be a Duck, man.
Boom inside. Touchdown Oregon. He gets loose. Fires. Hits. Pops the three. Oh, yeah. It's all Oregon.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider.
It's about how to be a group of people that know how to love each other to the absolute fullest.
Pleasure, joy to be with them each and every day. And I can't wait for the future.
It's just fun to be a part of a community that cares, that is passionate, and when we come together, powerful things can happen.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
This was one of the better weekends of the year. It always is, and it really felt like a celebration of everything around the Eugene community, and Oregon athletics was at the forefront of it over the course of this last weekend. I mean, it was so much fun with the Oregon football spring game going on, Oregon baseball and Oregon softball down the stretch runs of their season, Oregon football getting a lot of pro Ducks into the NFL draft, and then Hayward Field being the site for the Eugene Marathon. It felt like this was a celebration around Eugene, and the community was on full display. I got to be a part of it in a little bit of a different way this year, and it felt absolutely awesome. We'll talk about that as well as so many different things going on in Oregon athletics. Acrobatics and tumbling national championships happened over the weekend. Big Ten championships for Oregon women's golf, and so much more. But first, some news from earlier today. Oregon football is headed to Tokyo. Yes, the Ducks are headed to Tokyo. Division Street, in partnership with the Japan Gridiron Association, announced today that it will stage the Tokyo Oregon Football Showcase presented by Flight Club, taking place on June 25th to 27th this summer in Tokyo. It is a groundbreaking international event that will bring the Oregon Ducks football team to Japan, celebrating the deep-rooted historical connection between Oregon and the Japanese-American football community, and tapping into the growing enthusiasm for sport in the Japanese region. The Tokyo Oregon Football Showcase continues our legacy of creating innovative programs for student athletes that are unmatched in the industry, said Division Street CEO Rosemary St. Clair. This event will be a celebration of how sport transcends borders and creates lasting cultural connections. Our goal is to introduce Oregon athletes and the Duck football brand to Japanese fans and establish a foundation of excitement and fan engagement that we can build on in future years. This is cool. The inaugural showcase will focus on introducing the excitement of a 7-on-7 American football game within the Japanese football community. So Oregon athletes will conduct a live exhibition to demonstrate fundamental skills, core concepts, and techniques. And in addition, Dan Lanning will lead a coach's clinic covering basic route combinations, offensive concepts, and broader tactical strategies. Coach Lanning said that this is an opportunity to represent the University of Oregon in Tokyo. It is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Football has taken all of us to incredible places, and it will be special to connect with players and coaches who love this game as much as we do. We are excited to share how we approach the game and be part of something that is much bigger than one trip. The event will take place at the American School in Japan and will include Oregon players Dante Moore, DeCorian Moore, Jamari Johnson, Jeremiah McClellan, Evan Stewart, Jordan Davison, and De'Air Hill. While there, Division Street also plans to engage with key stakeholders to explore the potential for launching a more prominent league concept for youth and high school players in Japan. I mean, this is just an immersive type of opportunity for Oregon, their athletes, to expand to cross-country. It's not just a national brand. We talk so often about being a national brand around here at the University of Oregon. It's now truly turning international. I mean, we see players from across the coast, coast to coast, say that Oregon is their dream school. Now imagine in a few years from now, with this type of program, getting players that are international saying, Yeah, Oregon is my dream school from around the globe. I mean, this is the type of opportunity. I can't imagine how special of an opportunity it would be for these student athletes and Coach Lanning to have that opportunity to go internationally and share what Oregon is about and what football is about to the Japanese community. I was in Tokyo over last summer, and it is an incredible and a vibrant place. And I was wearing some duck gear out there, and there were some people, some of the English speakers that were in Tokyo. I got a few times that was like, Oregon. People were recognizing it. I think this even more so is going to be an opportunity for people to recognize the Oregon brand, and I just think that this is an incredible opportunity from Oregon Athletics, Division Street, and the Japanese community pulling everything together in order to make this event happen. This was really fun. These type of community events are super fun, and it felt like a community event over the course of this weekend, both with the Oregon football spring game on Saturday and the Eugene Marathon on Sunday. And I want to spend just a bit of time on the Eugene Marathon on Sunday because I ran in the marathon. It was awesome. It was great to see everybody that was out at the marathon. Finishing on Hayward was fantastic, but this isn't about me. This is about a man at mile 5 that was playing an electric guitar. There may or may not have been a man dressed as Batman. And Bruce Wayne is here in studio. Yes. First, Scott Phillips, he was playing the electric guitar. Scott, I want you to take fans through your experience because truly it was one of the more special fan kind of engagement experiences around the entire race.
I don't know what you're talking about, dude. I was down there cheering people on, but I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know.
I was talking with Ian McFarland. I said, hey, you remember Batman playing the guitar? He was like, yeah, dude, that was weird. And I was like, would you imagine that was Scott?
Nah, I don't know, man.
Oh, so you're back to Bruce Wayne now?
Yeah, I mean, I saw the Batman guy and it was cool, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
It was fun. It truly was. It was a great event at the Eugene Marathon, getting to run with everybody, getting to finish at Hayward Field, and for Hayward Field now at the opening of outdoor track season, for it to be the hub for an event like that. The Eugene community was on full display. Oregon Athletics was on full display. It was really the entire weekend. It felt like a celebration. I just keep coming back to that word. It was a celebration of the Eugene community and Oregon athletics, and that was evident in the Eugene Marathon. It was also evident in the Oregon football spring game as well. And the Ducks, we had a lot of fun being back at Autzen Stadium over the weekend. We're going to talk to Coach Lanning and break down the spring game when we come back. It's Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Friday, Toyota says let's put good times in gear with the Tundra, Tacoma, and 4Runner. Want some cool available features? We've got power tailgates to power game days and a trailer backup guide that's the champ of the ramp. Heck, we might even cancel Monday. Toyota Trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
We just kind of knew from the beginning that we were family.
They showcased a sense of love that I never had before. I mean, he's not only my parent, he's like my best friend.
At the end of the day, it's all been worth it. I wouldn't change a thing about our lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
I left my heart in
inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano here with you. Batman is nowhere to be found. And Oregon football, they had a whole lot of players to be found, not only in the game for the Oregon spring game on Saturday, but also around the game. I mean, this was just a tremendous event. It always is every year. The great work that the fans and the community does for Food for Lane County, donating your non-perishable food items, and to have a spring game. I mean, there are some spring games around the country that don't fill up the stadium. Autzen Stadium was near capacity. There was, I think it was 46,000 people at Autzen Stadium. 46,000 people to watch Oregon and really celebrate what was a great community event over the course of the weekend. That was super cool and super fun. And this weekend's always great because the Oregon football spring game seems to almost always coincide with the NFL draft. And the Ducks had 7 players drafted over the course of the weekend. Congratulations to all the Ducks that got drafted. First-round picks, Kenyon Sadiq with the 16th overall pick going to the New York Jets. Dylan Thieneman with the 25th overall pick going to the Chicago Bears. In the 3rd round, Emmanuel Pregnon was selected by the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then on day 3, Jaden Kennedy, a 4th-round pick to the Kansas City Chiefs. Bryce Betcher, a 4th-round pick to the Indianapolis Colts. Malik Benson selected in the 6th round to the Las Vegas Raiders, and Alex Harkey drafted in the 6th round to the Los Angeles Chargers. The Ducks had 7 players selected. Oregon has now had at least 6 players taken in the NFL draft in each of the last 4 years, and 31 total selections under Coach Dan Lanning. That is super cool. And what's also cool, and we've told the story of Bryce Betcher many times, but an added benefit is that he gets drafted. He has his draft celebration in Eugene, and then he is able to come to the Oregon football spring game right after. So he was able to be honored on the video board at Autzen Stadium for the spring game. That was super cool. That was awesome. And to see the spring game in full effect was also awesome as well. To see Oregon play, Ducks versus Ducks, the combat versus fighting. I don't know who won. I think that the teams won. I think the fans won. The Ducks won on Saturday because it was that type of celebration. And to see all of our favorite players back at Autzen Stadium, some of the new guys that are expanding into big roles, some of the transfers for the first time in Duck uniforms. I mean, that was what this is all about. And we also got to see 2 new coordinators. Really, 6 new coordinators, because you had Drew Maringer, the new offensive coordinator, and Chris Hampton, the new defensive coordinator. But then you also had the honorary captains come back with Penei Sewell and Kayvon Thibodeau and Diamador Lenore and Tez Johnson, who are also calling plays in this game. This is one of the best days of the year all the way around, and it's a great celebration of the Eugene community and Oregon football. Coach Dan Lanning, he spoke with the media after Oregon football spring game. I mean, this is just one heck of an event. Here's Coach Lanning's thoughts after the game.
You know, there's a lot of things you can walk away with and say, okay, we got to work on some things, but ultimately it was fun seeing our guys out there compete. Certainly some stuff to clean up. Got to get some really good reps. And there's nothing like game day experience in a lot of places in the country, and we get to have that here because our fans are unbelievable. So big shout out to our fans making the day so special. I was telling the players in the locker room, they don't realize how unique and special it is to have all these guys that are playing in the NFL now come back too and be a part of that. So overall, really special weekend. Obviously, some of our guys getting drafted, creating opportunities for themselves after Oregon, which is really fun for me to see as a coach, and certainly fun for our program. You guys saw it. I know you guys will probably ask a million questions. There were some guys that we limited today. 1, either we know where they're at, or 2, just want to be precautionary. I don't put too much stock into what one side of the ball or the other side of the ball did today. This is about everybody improving and us being able to attack. So that being said, we can open up for questions.
Starting with your quarterbacks, Dante and Dylan, and on through the room, how do you feel like they operated the offense as a whole today based on what you were expecting?
I'll have to go back and watch the film. You know, overall, there was some good on both sides. But ultimately, I have to go back and watch it. And part of it's about, okay, who are you throwing it to? Who's protecting for you? What was the call? We were very vanilla today, right? We're not going to put a bunch on film. We want to just go out there and execute some base game plan calls. So once I watch the film, I'll have a better assessment of how each guy played.
You mentioned being vanilla. For the coordinators, what do you want them to get out of today that they could take into the fall?
Yeah, just sequence and rhythm, right? Sequence and rhythm. You know, there's just when roles change in an organization, it's okay, who's talking to the guys before the team, who's making sure that we have our call sheets prepared the way they need to be prepared. There's a lot of that day in and day out that's really important, and us being able to execute at a high level on game day. And again, just as much as it's preparation for the players to be able, catch a ball in front of a bunch of people, in front of thousands of people. It's the same thing for coaches to call a defense or an offense in front of a lot of people.
Pretty special return, obviously, for Evan Stewart. First came back in Autzen since 2024. Obviously, rips off that big touchdown. What does it just mean to have him back in the offense? I know it's the spring game, but to also watch him rip off something like that in his first game back.
Yeah, this has been Evan's best spring since I've been here. I'm really excited about the growth. I think, when you have something that's not there for a while and you don't get the opportunity to do it, you're really hungry when you come back. And I've seen the maturity from him. I've seen him really level up in execution and be a guy that we can count on this spring.
12 sacks, 13 tackles for loss, not very many long runs. I'm just curious, the defensive line, what do you think you saw there today?
I got to go watch the film. But I love that we're keeping stats in this scrimmage. So, we didn't touch the quarterback, but that counts as a sack. So, again, I don't put too much stock in that. We got to protect better, but I also thought we ran the ball pretty well up the middle. So, I think there was some things to look at and evaluate. We didn't have a ton of explosive plays, but again, that's a little bit by nature too, and how things were called.
Like you said, special weekend. What was it like to be with Sadiq when he got the call from the Jets?
Yeah, man, such a special moment, and for me, those are even more special because I remember being in, Kenyon's living room trying to convince him to come be a Duck, and then to see that grow 3 years later where he gets the opportunity to be drafted in the first round. I know how much that means to him and his family. He's such a special human that's worked extremely hard for everything he's gotten. So when you get to see that happen for guys that played for us, that's a pretty special moment.
Big day for Decorian, including the quote-unquote game winner. Wondering your thoughts on his performance and just his progression.
Yeah, again, some good, some bad. I'll have to go watch it. I think the being able to play in a longer series, right, with exuded effort, something we got to continue to see, right, grow. But I'm excited to go watch the film. There were some good plays that he made out there today, though.
Coach, we've seen quite a bit of deep shots taken today. Was that part of the game plan you guys are looking to go into this year, stretch the defense out, or was it kind of testing to see what your quarterback receiver kind of combination is this early?
We're trying to show everybody our game plan, yeah. No, I mean, we move the ball down the field at times. You take shots. Certain coverages dictate that. Again, we had a limited call sheet on both sides of the ball, so that was going to happen at times.
Where do you feel like just the growth was with this team from practice one to as you leave spring football? Just were you pleased with from a growth?
Well, I think the intelligence of this group is really high, and the acumen and ability to execute offense and defensive plays is really up there, right? So they know and understand what we're trying to do. We've got a lot of stuff packaged well that these guys can operate really well. So I'd say that part's ahead. We become a much more connected team this spring. That's got to continue as we go through the remainder of this offseason. We got to get stronger. We got to continue to become the physical team that we've been here in the past. So there's a lot of areas still for growth, but I think we're a really smart team right now and understand what we want to accomplish.
You mentioned the NFL guys on the sideline, someone like Kayvon literally coaching up players, and then the guys getting announced in the middle of the game to the draft, all the fans. How important is that for the big name recruits here on campus, just to kind of see this as a whole and as a culmination?
Yeah, I think you're trying to paint a vision for what it's going to be like when you come to play, at Oregon, and when you get to actually experience that vision, you get to see guys that are playing in the league right now, see guys get drafted, see the fan experience. I think that paints a great picture. This is a great weekend for Oregon and Eugene to be on display, right, for these guys that are in town that are saying, okay, is this a place that I want to be at? And it makes that experience really fun and for us as coaches and fun for those recruits.
Building off what you were saying with Evan earlier, he had the green jersey on, but just what did you see in terms of his comfort level out there, in terms of things like building his trust up again in his body after being away from the field for so long?
He's had a good spring, yeah. Again, I'll have to watch the film, but he knows he has a green jersey on too, so he knows he's not getting hit. So, I think that's part of it. But again, he's had a really good spring.
Dylan Raiola, getting more comfortable, has a long time to really digest this offense over the next year. But his comfortability today and his, chemistry that he's starting to build with those guys, what did you see there?
Yeah, I just saw a guy that enjoys playing football, right? I saw him light up on his face. There was a couple deep balls that he was able to connect and some that he didn't, that just got away, and overall, I was just excited to see Dylan playing out there with some joy and some passion and really understanding what we're trying to do on the field. And I think that's really come along throughout the spring.
Just going back to the guest coaches you guys had out there, I saw Kayvon pretty hyped up on the sideline.
Yeah.
How hands-on were they in some of the play calling here today?
Yeah, so in the third quarter, we let them have a couple series. Tez and Kayvon had a lot of fun with it. So Kayvon was very clear to me. He wanted to let me know that he had three and outs, a turnover on downs. I said, hey, man, you're still playing ball. When you're done, let me know. Maybe you can come coach. But those guys had a lot of fun. I think that, when you can't play the game, coaching, it's about as close as you can get. So maybe some of those guys might have a future in coaching. I think Panay called a good game. I mean, Diamador called some great plays, so it was fun. We had it kind of put together for him to where there were plays that we felt comfortable calling, and those guys could help, pick which one was next. So I noticed Tez kept calling all the plays that he had a lot of success with when he was at Oregon.
You've obviously now had a handful of these spring games here at Oregon, and I understand it is just the spring game, but do you guys feel like this year compared to last year and even the year prior, do you feel like you guys are ahead maybe in some areas that you want to be? And I understand there's going to be a lot of improvement, but do you feel like you've seen growth even from last year at this time spring game to this year at spring game?
New team, new growth, right? In football, it's a 365-day growth, right? So for us, it's hard to assess comparative to other teams and where you're at because it's a new team. So we'll evaluate it. First thing you got to do is go watch the film. I haven't had a chance to do that yet, but I am pleased with where we're at right now, and definitely walking away from today, there's a lot of notes and stuff we got to get better at.
During the offseason, in the playoffs, you were pretty vocal about the schedule of college football. They're proposing moving the season up a little bit. What are your thoughts on that and just how it impacts maybe things future-wise for...
Move it up. I mean, I've been very clear about it. I think it solves a lot of problems in college football. We have one portal window, right? I don't think the portal should exist the same time that football's being played. On the same note, I think the semester should be kind of the start of a new season, a new term, and right now we'll be in the second semester of school, but still at the same time playing football. It doesn't line up with the windows of academic calendars. The closer we can get the season ending to January 1st, the better it is, I think, for all programs. Coaching transitions, all things exist. So it's a really easy fix, in my opinion. We'll see if we can get closer and closer to that.
I just noticed when we were walking over here, the entrance to your guys' locker room still has a college football playoff logoed players and staff only sign, and I was just wondering if there's any reason why that's still up here months later, or if it's just...
Where'd you see it at?
Right at the entrance of the locker room down there.
I hadn't noticed it, but very observant. No, there wasn't. No reason. Somebody's probably upset right now because they didn't take it down, so maybe it's still supposed to be up there. I'm not sure.
You mentioned connectedness, and within that game, you have moments like shout, and after the game, both teams coming together. Just what does the spring game mean for?
I'll say that's the most fun our players will ever have in shout at our stadium. But I'm glad they got to share that moment. Nobody else is getting to have anything quite like that. But they look like they had a lot of fun there today, and that's the best time to probably do it is in spring, right? Is to be able to celebrate those moments. So we get to enjoy it during the season. That's really special within a game when it happens, and nobody else has that. Right, but we have to have a level of focus whenever we're doing that in season. So I think they got a chance to check out today and really enjoy that moment.
When Kendra Harrison signed, he hopes to play two sports, and the basketball program's drastically changed from a roster standpoint. When he signed, playing time is going to be available for him. How does he handle now the next couple of months of off-season skill work of focusing on football and basketball? How do you help him do that?
It's always been the plan when he got here to focus really on football first, and then we'll see as that comes along, what opportunities present itself. I mean, we saw a guy today that got drafted that played baseball here, right? And now he's going to go be playing football for the Colts. And Bryce, we have DeCorian right now that's doing, two sports as well. He's going to be competing in track the rest of this spring. So it's certainly something we can do. We just have to figure out what that's going to look like moving forward. And right now it's probably about putting, football to bed this spring and seeing what growth he still has to have, from that standpoint.
That's Coach Lanning. His reactions to the spring game brought to you by Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Better cancer care close to home. The Ducks, it was fun this weekend. And I keep coming back to the word celebration. It was a Eugene community celebration. And, well, we got to celebrate Oregon football. We got to celebrate some draftees. We got to celebrate the Eugene Marathon. And now we're going to get to celebrate the seniors for Oregon softball. The Ducks got a series win at the Jane. Celebrating Senior Day. Cool stuff. We're talking about it when we come back on Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
When life blindsides you with an injury, you need a team that's tough.
For over 30 years, Morgan & Morgan has been fighting for the people. This season, we're proud to partner with Oregon Athletics. Because whether it's on the field or in the courtroom, we're both determined to do what it takes to win. Morgan & Morgan, proud partner of Oregon Athletics. Injured? Dial pound law. Morgan & Morgan, 10150 Southwest 6th Avenue, Portland. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
When I smoke weed, I get lost in the music. I like to isolate each instrument. The rhythmic bass, the harmonies on the piano, the sticky melody.
Hey, careful, babe. There's someone crossing the street.
Sorry, I didn't see him there.
If you feel different, you drive different. Don't drive high. It's dangerous and illegal everywhere. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, how do airplanes fly? What's in this box? Is this tree good for climbing? How are babies made? What does this thing do?
Kids are curious about everything, including guns. Talking to them about gun safety in your home is a good first step, but you can do more. Always keep your guns locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Inside the Country Financial Studio, it's Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ron Milano here with you on a Monday, breaking down what a great weekend around the University of Oregon and the athletic departments here. And Oregon softball was a big reason for it. You had the spring game on Saturday for Oregon football, and then both baseball and softball right afterwards. It meant that there were great atmospheres around the entire university over the course of the weekend at so many different events. It didn't start out the way that Oregon softball wanted to start the weekend. They lost 3-0 on Friday. The offense just couldn't get it going. It snapped. It was a 12-game win streak for the Ducks, but then it looked like on Saturday it was going to be more of the same. The Ducks trailed 4-0 headed into the fourth, and you're like, the offense just hasn't been its week. Nope. Turned into the offense's week because the next 3 innings, Oregon scored 13 runs and ended up winning 13-6. Emma Cox hit 2 home runs in the game. Katie Flannery broke the game open with a grand slam in the 6th inning. Emma Cox is on an absolute heater at the plate. She had her 6th and 7th home runs in the last 9 games in that game on Saturday, and then contributed even more into the game on Sunday. It was Oregon's 18th come-from-behind victory of the year to get the 13-6 win on Saturday. And then on Sunday, it was Senior Day, honoring 6 seniors for Oregon softball. Elon Butler, Lindsey Grine, Amari Harper, Remington Hewitt, Trinity Holden, and Elise Sokolsky. Remington Hewitt, a full senior at Oregon, spent every year with the Ducks. That's fun to see for Remington and for Coach Lombardi to get that full experience in your entire collegiate career. And for the other 5 that transferred in, chose Oregon, a big celebration for the 6 of them. The 15th consecutive Big Ten Series win for Oregon. It means the Ducks are guaranteed to get a first-round bye in this season's conference tournament. And in the post-game, we saw the Athletes Unlimited celebration with the golden ticket for Amari Harper. Last week, 2 weeks ago, Coach Lombardi announced that Elon Butler, Lindsey Grine, and Elise Sokolsky will also be in the Athlete Unlimited's reserve pool for the 2026 season. So that is super fun to see for Oregon softball. Again, a weekend of celebration and celebrating the seniors after a series win. Coach Lombardi breaking it down after Sunday's victory.
What does it mean for them, especially to get this honor, and also for you guys to do this today?
It means a lot. I think about Remington. She's been with me the entire time, and our team, our culture, our standards, where they are today, she has a lot to do with it. She knows what we're supposed to look like, and the leadership that she has provided in that area has been tremendous. I think these other ones that I didn't get their full 4 years, but I got them, and that was the most important thing. I feel like they've been here since day one. I just think the impact that these guys have left on our program, just as people first is why I want them here. And then the impact that they left on our program with how to go about being elite on the field and being a good teammate and rising to the occasion and upholding the standards. They've done it. I look at the two that came in this year, and Elon and Amari, I feel like I've had them longer than a year, but what I'm so happy about with them is that the buy-in. I think the buy-in is really, really important, and they bought in and allowed us to coach them, and from there go out on their own terms. So I can't say enough about this group. Trinity, just what she's done from a culture standard as well. Elise, goodness, watching her come in her first year and where she is now. They just all came in as young girls and are leaving as independent, decisive women that know exactly what they want to do in life.
It's multiple times you're able to do this now, but does it ever get old being able to say, hey, senior day's emotional, but we also know it's not the last time here?
I think knowing that there's more, it really makes a difference, because you get emotional because you just remember challenging moments throughout their career. You remember celebrations. Sometimes like when we're here, I think our fans get to see like the end result. They don't get to see all the in between that I do. So just for them to come and take a chance and be uncomfortable and allow us to coach them on the field and in life, I love them all, and I'm thankful. And yes, we have so much left to do.
Talk about the adjustments at the plate, especially just in a game like this. Offense is so important. You said it wasn't early enough yesterday, but just what did you see today, first inning, when Amari sent that one out?
That it was early, and just again, this group, we demand things from them and they give it to us. And if we struggled the first game, we just had some things that didn't go our way. We just couldn't get it right. But what I appreciate is that they got it right the second game with a comeback win, and then they really got it right with today's game. So this is just a special group, and I love how they're adjusting and just really competing in each moment. That's what it's about, is your ability to compete moment to moment and not get caught up in what just happened or what could possibly happen. How can I just stay really present with my teammates?
The leadership on this team, is that what helps them compartmentalize so much? I mean, they had the opportunity to maybe have a little bit of a lull because today was senior day, a big day. But coming out for that Friday game, they really performed Saturday, and then they were really focused today and didn't have anything distracting them.
Yeah, I think this is a group that is just really understanding of what they want and then what it takes to get there. And they knew that today we were going to have to come out. I will definitely take the run roll, but that's not what I expected. I thought it was going to be two more heavyweights going after each other. But I just think the way that we were able to jump quickly and have shut down pitching all game. Taylor was tremendous. Like, her off speed was amazing. Just the way she was able to create a large spread with her fastest speed to her softest speed and work ahead. We had a jam there where I think we had runners at first and second. We had a 3-0 count, and it was a big inning for them to open it up. And the hitter swung on a 3-0, and we got a double play ball to get out of the inning. And so just love how these guys all keep stepping up. Different people. K-Dub coming up and getting a bomb. She needed that. K-Dub is really, really good, and sometimes you just get into a spot where, you have a little bit of a dry spell where things aren't going your way, and just to see her do that. Emma, what an unbelievable weekend, all weekend long. I mean, I could just go down the list, and every single person contributed in our lineup. Our dugout was absolutely on fire with what they did in the dugout to give us a chance to win. And then the last thing that I would say is that our fans have been absolutely amazing all year long. For them to come in and just absolutely pack the game after game, and a couple games were down, and I think they could have easily got up and left, and they didn't, because they know this group knows how to come back and win. So I love the confidence that our fans have in version 8. So our fans, our seniors, what a magical weekend.
Building off what you were saying with Kato there, she comes into this one hitless in her last 5. You drop her down to the 7th spot for the first time this season. And just what did you see from her in terms of the way she responded to that and making that adjustment to hit that homer?
Decisive. I think sometimes you just move these guys around. You get to see some different pitches, get some different looks, but I just thought she was really decisive with that.
Fell behind 0-3 on Friday, fell behind early yesterday, came back to win that one. From the jump, the offense was clicking. Is the message kind of for the rest of the season then going into Big Ten tournament play and postseason play to start out aggressive early and then kind of adjust from there?
I agree. I think early aggression is so important for us in all areas. So it's it's being clean on defense and on the mound. You know, what was really nice today is just the amount of shutdown innings that we got. I felt like we were on defense very little time and then got to stay on offense for a long time. So when the three cylinders are working well together, I think this group's a really tough group to beat.
Obviously, a huge series coming up. Other than 1-3 wins, what do you feel like you're playing for this late in the season going down there?
Playing for a Big Ten championship still. You know, anything can happen in the last weekend. So it's about us continuing to take care of our business and put us in a position to win the Big Ten, to put us in a position to have a great seed going into the Big Ten tournament. So we want to win, and we know in order to do that, we've got to take series and we got to have the ability to sweep. So what this last series does for us for Big Ten and also for postseason is really important. What I love is that we just played a team that has a powerful offense, and we're going to go into that this next weekend. We're going to play another team that's got a powerful offense.
It had been 15 days since Taylor Spencer last appeared in a game. What did you like from her progression-wise in practice leading up to today and between that time?
I really liked her command. I really liked her presence on the inside corner. That's what I think was a difference. I think her presence there really allowed her to expand from her hardest to her softest. And, you know, where if you're kind of hard to middle, there's not enough spread to get swing and misses. And I thought she just did a really good job with her spread.
Emma's got as many homers now this month as she had all of last season. You talked about, you know, the light going off for her, and especially with her swing, just when she gets that extension through the zone, that she can just really send it everywhere she wants. Just what have you seen, especially just with her swing at the plate, what she's doing right now?
I think her swing looks really good. I think she's really confident in her plans at the plate, and just the extension. You see when she gets extended, really, really good things happen.
And then can you also just speak a little bit about what she's done for the pitching staff? I know Taylor was just speaking about that as well, but just the consistency. She's, you know, the entire run she's been behind the plate every single game, working with the pitchers, and it's a 3 ERA for the staff over that span. So just what does that mean for her to have that consistency there?
I think it's really important. You know, each pitcher is so different, and she treats them all differently. And so I think that's just, when I look at Emma, I think that we have an assistant coach playing on the field. It's important that assistant coach is behind the plate, and what she does for them, the confidence that she gives where they can throw any pitch at any given time because she's going to knock the ball down. I just think they have so much trust in her, and when they have that type of trust in her, I think it allows them to just pitch extremely free.
And then you said last night after Katie's grand slam that sometimes it just takes one to get going. The big double today and then another single as well. Just what have you seen from her in terms of just getting that one to get her going?
Exactly that. It just sometimes it just takes one. It takes one, and then you go, oh, that feels good. That's what it's supposed to feel like. And then you just want more. You know, like you look at Emma, she's like, oh, that feels good. I'd like some more. Oh, that feels even better. I like some more. Right? They just start to get hungry for it. They believe in it. They're confident, and then they go get it.
It's Coach Lombardi after the weekend. Oregon softball wins the series against Ohio State, and it sets up a big test to close out the regular season on the road against UCLA. One of the three teams between Oregon, UCLA, and Nebraska will win the Big Ten this season. Right now, Nebraska has the advantage. They're 2 games up. But if Oregon can sweep all 3 games against UCLA, the Ducks are in pretty strong position if the Ducks can get some help in the Nebraska series. Now, with that UCLA series, first off, positioning regardless, playing UCLA regardless, always a great series between the two teams. But there is going to be different game times because the Big Ten Network has picked up all 3 games of that series between Oregon and the UCLA Bruins. Now it's Friday at 4 o'clock, the game time, with a 1:30 first pitch on Saturday and 11 a.m. on Sunday. All games on Big Ten Network. The times have changed, so make sure you keep track of that accordingly if you want to follow along with Oregon softball as they conclude their regular season in a big-time series against UCLA over the weekend. Oregon baseball, they're coming down the stretch run as well and trying to position themselves in the Big Ten standings for strong positioning into their Big Ten tournament. A sweep will help. Ducks got one this weekend. We're talking about it when we return on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You wanted to be cool, which led you to smoking, which led to a pack a day. Then you met that special someone, which led to starting a life with them, which led to wanting to live longer, which led to quitting. Then you heard you may be at risk for lung cancer, which led you to getting a low-dose CT scan. If you smoked, get scanned. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org. Brought to you by the American Lung Association and the Ad Council.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone or just taking a deep, calming breath to ground yourself. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org.
Studios, Duck Insider, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Ryan Milano here with you on a Monday. I was at PK Park all weekend long as the Ducks secured a series sweep over Penn State. It was a tighter series than initially expected coming in. Penn State, a team that came in, they gave up a lot of runs to their opponents, and ultimately Oregon's offense struggled just a bit over the course of this weekend. But they got to win in all three games. Ultimately, that's all that matters. And the Ducks got a 5-4 victory on Friday and secured the first game of the series with some late offense. Maddox Maloney and RBI singled to tie the game up at 4 a little bit late in the game. And then with the bases loaded, Drew Smith was able to deliver the go-ahead RBI late in the game. Oregon won 5-4. Then on Saturday, it was the same score, a 5-4 victory, but this time it took extra innings for Oregon to win this game. Penn State got up 4-0 early, and then Oregon slowly chipped away and chipped away and chipped away until they tied it up in the 7th. It got into the 10th. Bases loaded. Jack Brooks at the plate. He works a walk-off in the literal definition of the word. And then on Sunday, it felt like everything came together. A 5-0 win for Oregon. Berkeley Mabius was awesome, both offensively and defensively. The entire pitching staff was great. It was Oregon's 7th shutout of the season. That's tied for the NCAA lead for most shutouts across the country. This was a good way to close off a series sweep of a weekend. I put on my reporter cap after the game, and I got to talk to Waz and a few players after Sunday's win. Here's Coach Wazakowski's reaction to Oregon's pitching dominance and a few offensive sparks that helped Oregon secure a series sweep over Penn State.
Series sweep? How's that one feel?
Great. Anytime you can sweep, it's fantastic. Miles Gastola, threw the ball very, very well. It's great to see, him passing the ball off to the guys down there in the bullpen and, all the way from Gabe to Markham. I thought threw the ball exceptionally well and getting, being able to have, some of your key bullpen guys not need to get into the game is really important, which is great. And so we were able to accomplish a lot of goals outside the sweep as well.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on that first inning for Miles? He allows the first 2 base runners, and then he strands those runners on the corners. Just the ability for him to settle into his outing.
Yeah, I mean, he made big pitches all day, right? And he just didn't give in. It felt like, that they got a couple of things going there in the first, but then he was able to really lock in with mentality, and he started throwing his best bolts. I think he was like, throwing 88 to 90 his first few bolts of the game, and then he just said the heck with it, and he started ripping low to mid 90s. And I just felt like that intent was what he carried through his outing, and that was the difference between maybe him getting bounced in the first and maybe him having the performance that he had today. Was just that mentality piece that I thought he brought.
He threw 6 1/3. He only allowed 1 hit after that first inning.
Right.
What about him makes him so difficult to hit when he's filling up the zone like that?
Well, if you've ever hit against a lefty that's throwing 90 to 94 miles an hour, 95 miles an hour, that's hard already. From a lower slot, that's even harder. It's a different look, and he just got really good pitches, and he can command his fastball and his off-speed pitches. And so when you're doing that, you get it going. It's just, that's what you see on TV when you're watching, ESPN at night and Major League Baseball. So, he's got that kind of ability to be pitching on TV, and it's nice to see him improving every outing that he's had here.
The bullpen and the utilization of the bullpen to rely on a few young guys with Gabe Howard and Cooper Markham and Cooper Strawn in the back end before going to Leo Ullman. Just the trust in those guys in those spots, trying to get a series sweep to come out there and give you some good innings late.
Well, they all have great arms. They're all throwing the ball in the low to mid 90s, and they all have great off-speed pitches. It's just about getting them out in the games and experience. Cooper Strawn, he was dinged up at the start of the year, and so we couldn't get him out there. Couldn't get him the experience that we wanted to get him. And Leo Ullman, he had an arm injury, a couple years back, and he's just getting back on it. And Cooper Markham obviously is a very talented freshman. When you're throwing the ball, in the high 90s, that's hard to do. That's very rare, and he's just a very talented freshman.
There's been a lot of strain put on Berkeley Mabius over the last few weeks, now taking over as the primary catcher. You've been platooning him in JAXA, and now he's catching every game back there. The ability for him to handle starting and catching every single game, and then to still be fresh enough to have a game like he did today. Just the mentality, the makeup for him to be the everyday catcher and handle that.
Yeah, he's strong as an ox. He's ready. He wants to play every single day. He's strong as an ox, and I'll be in the weight room with him probably tomorrow at some point. It's probably an off day, but he'll show up. That kid is strong as an ox. He doesn't have, as far as wear and tear and stuff like that, that doesn't factor in on Burke. He's a tough kid.
The plate approach for him, he has the double down the left field line and then the home run down the right field line to be able to spray it from foul pole to foul pole.
Well, he probably got lucky on one, and he got a swing off on the other, probably, if the truth be told. But, he's using the whole field, and he was allowing the guy, early in the game, the guy was sinking the ball and running away from him. So he stayed on the ball, and he did what he needed to do, and they were overshifted. And he's been able to do that a few times against opponents. And then later in the game, a guy was going to challenge him with fastball middle in, and he took the first one down the right field line. That was a big hit for us.
Renovations done to PK Park this weekend. The Star opened for the first time this weekend. Just what can that do for Oregon baseball and the opening of the Star with the atmosphere that was here all weekend? Just what can that do for PK Park?
Yeah, beautiful weather. I don't know. It's a sports bar hanging out at a college baseball field. Who's got that? Another awesome Oregon thing. I don't know. I think if you're a fan of baseball and you're here a fan of the Ducks, you need to get involved with that deal. If I wasn't coaching baseball and I was living in Eugene, Oregon, I'd love to watch this team and be a part of that experience. Joe and Kathleen Karcher, Tim and Shelby Kerr, Joe Giansante, so many donors, Mark and Carla Byram, of course, Pat Kilkenny. All these people are the ones who have gotten this thing rolling now. And that's a high-end deal in there with high-end food, great drinks, great food, great environment. I don't know why you wouldn't want to be in there, and we never get any bad weather around here, but if you ever did, it's got a roof over its head too, and I think it'd be a nice place to sit if you ever had weather in Oregon.
Little League Day at the ballpark today. The team's doing autographs right now for the Little Leaguers out there. A guy like Maddox Maloney grew up around this area and now is playing for you. It's cool to have some of the youngsters from around the area get to aspire to be an Oregon Duck.
Yeah, the young girls and guys. We had a lot of young ladies on the field this morning when we were at the anthem, and they were all lined up with us. That was awesome to see. To be able to have Little League I remember when my sister played boys baseball, when she was growing up, and she was one of the better ones. She was on the All-Star team. And so for these girls that come out, I encourage them, go out and play with the boys. Show them what you got, beat them. I think it's great. you know, and so for me, when I saw those girls come out, I was really excited with the, you know, all the other little leaguers and stuff, whether just fulfilling their dreams and getting better at baseball and having fun, right? That's what it's all about, and they're all here today, which is really cool.
Series sweep in the midst of a race for Big Ten positioning. Just what can this series as a whole do for you now down the stretch run?
Don't know. We'll get to that. I don't outthink it. It's a win today. We got one in a row for 3 days in a row, and that's what we wanted to do. So good. Day off tomorrow, and then we're back on Tuesday with a really good game against Gonzaga, who's a hot club. I think they've won a bunch of games in a row. I don't know how they did today, but I think they've won a bunch of games in a row, and their RPI is really good. So we scheduled them, and it's going to be we need a fan support. It's a 2 p.m. game, so skip work and come to the ballpark.
You heard him. Skip work. Come to the ballpark tomorrow. It's Oregon baseball game day. A reminder, no Duck Insider tomorrow for the 1:45 pregame show and the 2 o'clock first pitch for Oregon versus Gonzaga. But we're still breaking down the game coming up from yesterday and the series win for Oregon, the sweep for the Ducks. Hearing from a very impactful player when we return on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs, and for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working in our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
Duck Insider continues from the Country Financial Studios in 1 minute on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
There's danger out there. It lurks on highways and quiet neighborhood streets. It's more likely to kill you than a shark and more terrifying than the biggest snake. Distracted driving claims lives every day. Every notification, swipe, social post, video, or selfie while driving risks your life. So while you might think public speaking or the zombie apocalypse is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NCATA and the Ad Council.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
If you build a relationship, then it becomes easier. If you build trust, it becomes easier. As a parent, you want what's best for your child. To give them the love that a child needs is probably the best you can do for a teenager.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Inside the Country Financial Studios, second Saturday, brought to you by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Lana here with you, talking about an Oregon baseball series sweep, and we're talking with the catcher, Berkeley Mabius. Waz says he's strong as an ox. Let's hear from the durable catcher, Berkeley Mabius.
Catching a shutout, 7th shutout of the year for the team, just controlling the pitching staff. How do you feel like the pitchers did today?
They killed it, man. I think we did a really good job of staying with each pitch and being present. And one thing we've been working on, it's like if you make a mistake, let's be present enough to overcorrect, even if it means we miss drastically on the other side of the plate or whatnot. And I saw that from our pitchers today. They went for it, kind of executed the plan that we were going for and just competed the right way on the mound. And I think that really let us, even on the offensive side, we feed off of that. So their leadership that they took on the mound today helped the team win for sure.
Had some vets on the bookends, but it was a lot of youngsters in the middle with Gabe Howard, the sophomore, and then the Coopers, the freshmen. Just what do they do on the hill, each one of them, that can make them so dangerous to hit? And we're seeing them put together some solid outings here late in the year.
I mean, we just got guys all around. Like, there's plenty of guys that haven't, maybe pitched a ton of innings. And that's not to say that they aren't super talented on the mound. I think this is one of the better pitching staffs Oregon's had And that goes to show with the guys that pitched today. I mean, just being able to pull those guys out that are so elite, commanding the zone, landing secondary pitches for strikes. And that's what they did so well today. It's amazing what we've got going on the pitching side of things.
In the first inning, Miles was in a little bit of a tough frame. He was able to get a strikeout, and then 0-1 bunt, you let it go foul, and it leads to a strikeout. Just take me through your mindset of that play and the wherewithal to let it go foul.
Yeah, I mean, I picked that ball up and sure we getting out right there. I'd probably throw him out at first, but I think, not letting that guy score is a big deal right there, and I'll give kudos to Miles. He was very verbal about letting it go, and I think he had a good, field of view on it. So just having him kind of reassure me that was the right play there to let it go foul, I'll credit to Miles.
Offensively, you sprayed it to all fields today. You had 2 extra base hits pulled down the right field line, 1 down the left field line. Just your ability at the plate to utilize the entire field.
Yeah, just trying to free it up. Let the head work a little bit. We talked about just good rhythm, good timing, and stuff like that, and being freed up to the middle of the field, and that was my approach. I felt like maybe the day before I was trying to, getting away from my game plan and stuff, not ambushing the pitch that I want, being a little passive, and so I was just trying to fix that today, and worked out for me better.
Berkeley Mabius, after the game, he caught his 7th shutout of the year. The team for Oregon has 7 shutouts, tied for the NCAA lead this year, and he was impactful offensively. Oregon baseball will be back in action tomorrow. It's an earlier game, a 1:45 pregame on the Oregon Sports Network, and a 2 o'clock first pitch. It means no Duck Insider tomorrow on the Oregon Sports Network. Joey and I will be over at PK Park. Also going on over the weekend, the NCATA National Championships. Oregon acrobatics and tumbling as a team, they fell in the semifinals to Quinnipiac, but they did capitalize on 3 event national championships. Sophia Wing and Bria Alvarado won the duo event, with Nyla Lassiter, Morgan Willingham, and Carly Garcia winning the trio tumbling final. Morgan Willingham again captured another title in aerial tumbling, and Oregon got 4 All-Americans. Blesson McMorris was an All-American. The senior, the sophomore Carly Garcia, and the junior Ashlyn Parlett were named to the first-team All-America squad, while sophomore Angelica Martin earned second-team honors for the acrobatics and tumbling All-American. Joey touched on it a little bit on Friday, but also Oregon track and field was in action at the Penn Relays over the weekend. The Ducks were involved in a couple big-time races over the weekend. He mentioned a DMR win for Oregon over Villanova. It was a dramatic win. It's the 5th time Oregon has won the Penn Relay wheel in the DMR, and the first since 2017. Thomas Palfrey, Fawad Omar, James Harding, and Simeon Birnbaum combined for a 9:32.08. It was just 1/10 of a second ahead of Villanova. Also, Oregon women's golf, they're awaiting their selection in the NCAA regional round, which is coming up on Wednesday. Big weekend. Baseball.
You say you never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, know it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car